Yo, 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 yo. What up, my people? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Radical. Now, I got sent this video, right? Because Umar Johnson went on Marcel Dixon's platform. He they were interviewing each other. It's not that long, it's 51 minutes, right? But it was a very interesting conversation because we're having two individuals that are you know with the same common cause, the cause for black empowerment and looking after their own people, but also these two individuals have two different ideologies. Marcel Dixon is FBA. He believes that lineage based reparations, and that's basically it, and they just attack immigrants. Let's be honest, that's all it is. You can't really nail anything down. They don't FBA doesn't really have a solid, a track record or a solid basis or background to actually say what their ideology is. And Pan-Africanism, what Dr. Umar represents, is a lot about, African unity and looking out for each other. We're all one people and all that other stuff due to the fact that white supremacy affected us, right? So this is what these two ideologies are coming into, and I'm glad that it was respectful, but also Dr. Umar was checking a lot of bullshit that FBAs are saying about immigrants because, again, remember, FBA, this is just a grift, and that's how I see it. I see FBA as just a grift. I see FBA just talking out their ass with things that they don't know nothing about, and it makes it sound good because a couple of jokes here and there, tether this, hairline that, and all that other stuff. But when you really actually sit down and have a respectful dialogue, a respectful talk, all that tether this, hairline that goes out the window, and basically these individuals start looking foolish. So I want to basically show you guys a part of that, and Dr. Umar basically checking Marcel Dixon. I'm going to start pausing it and giving my commentary to it. Again, this is fair use because I'm giving my commentary to it. I'm not just stealing the video or whatever, but this is fair use, fair use, fair use. So here it goes.
Ones who are anti-Black, of course, the LGBTQ movement, all of those groups get called out. But what has not historically happened in America, we as Black Americans have not called out those who look like us, but oftentimes will work against us all the same, who are Black Americans, freedmen, or FBA, as you will sometimes call American
Clarence Thomas
African,
has done more to work against Black people than any immigrant you can name.
Or
Candace Owens has done more to work against African people than any immigrant that you can name.
Candace Owens is not one of us. She's from the Caribbean. Now,
I want to just pause that real quick. This is something a classic thing that FBAs do. If you are half FBA and you go against the FBA rhetoric, no, you're no longer FBA, you're Caribbean, which doesn't make sense if FBA is a lineage. Nobody could steal you away from your lineage if that's your lineage. Uh, Candace Owens is half FBA. It is what it is. She's not Caribbean. She's half FBA. So the fact that he just said, no, she's not one of us, meaning she's not FBA, even though she is half, she's just Caribbean. That he just took her lineage away, which makes it a group, which makes FBA a group, not lineage based. Because if you could put people in and out as you want to, just because they're half, then it's a group. It's not a lineage. But either way, Dr. Umar is 100% right. Clarence Thomas, what was it, Jesse Lee Peterson, so on and so forth. Even was it a black sheriff, Kanye West, what was it, Diamond and Silk. So all these people who are FBA or Black American have gone against Black folks for the better interest, and you're just calling out the 3% of not even Black immigrants in this country is only 3%. You're calling less than 1% of the 3% just for doing some fuck shit. That makes no type of sense. But yet they make it claim like this is the whole group, which it's not true. You know what I'm saying? But there's a very funny thing that a lot of FBA say, well, we call out our coons. That's not true, because if you call out your coons, then that means Umar, who's been stealing from the black community for a school that's been in development for 10 years, should not be having platforms like this. If you're talking about calling out your coons, if people are calling out your coons, then that means Brother Polite would have been in jail a long time ago for stealing from the black community. So if you really call out your coons, really let's really talk about it. That's not true. FBI don't call out your coons. The thing is, y'all call it y'all coons when it's effective and it's convenient at the time. That's all it is. And let's be honest, not all of y'all call out y'all coons. Let's be honest. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Let's keep it going.
Clarence Thomas is from Savannah, Georgia. I don't know a whole lot about him legislatively, but I do know, and I was going to get to this point, but we're running out of time.
You don't know a whole lot about him. You don't know what just happened with affirmative action and hiring.
And I agree what just happened with affirmative action.
What are you talking about?
I agree what just happened with affirmative action. He pretty much made it clear that freedmen, which is a status that's held by the descendants of American slaves, is not racial, it's based on lineage. And now these other groups, like those immigrants you just mentioned, but even including some black immigrants, cannot just come in the country and say American racism has hurt them directly. But let me continue real quick. I think the issue is that we're now calling out even Black immigrants who come here, and you've done this before, and have an anti-Black American mindset. You've called them out in some of your videos. That has not always historically been the case.
I call everybody out in my videos. I might call out African immigrants who work against African people, because that is true. They exist.
Exactly.
Just like you got American Africans who work against immigrants. The bottom line is, as a race, because I deal with us as a race. For me, this is a chessboard, not a checker game. As a race, we play too much tribalism with one another. The white man doesn't like each other all the time, but they know how to organize as a group to keep us on the bottom. Irish think they're better than Italians. Italians think they're better than Jews. Jews think they're better than Greeks. But when it comes to the future of white supremacy, they can call a time out to the petty differences that they have and work on what is universally in the best interest of white people. Chinese don't necessarily like Japanese. Japanese don't necessarily like Vietnamese. Vietnamese don't necessarily like Cambodians. But when it's come time to talk about what is in the best interest of Asian people, they can call a timeout to the petty differences and take care of business for the race. My issue with us as African people, not just you and the American African, but our people around the world, is we are so pettily committed to our tribal agenda that we cannot see the larger picture. And because of that, we will perish if we don't get over it. I don't have a problem with y'all fighting. Y'all fight how y'all want to fight it. That's for y'all to do. But for me, I'm about the liberation of all African people and the complete solidarity of all African people. I do not do tribalism, and no matter what name or banner it comes under.
I like that. Shout out to him. Shout out to Umar. Even though I think he's a grifter, but he speaks phenomenally. Shout out to Umar. I agree with that 100%. I 100% agree to that. It's true. Every other group, even Latinos, do it. I'm Latino. I'm witness to this. All Latinos are not a monolith. Let me just make it clear. We're not a monolith. Nor do we all like each other. Let's be honest. We beef about petty BS. Who speaks better Spanish or who's from what country and all this other dumb stuff. But when it comes for us to start doing our thing, when it comes to us to open up a bodega, when it comes to us to opening up a barbershop or whatever the case is, we step our BS away and then we start doing our thing. It's true. It's 100% true. Other immigrants do the same thing. Even black immigrants do it. But guess what? Black Americans don't do it. For the most part, not all, but for the most part, black Americans don't do it. Black Americans usually beef within each other or whatever, and nothing gets done. You know what I'm saying? And Umar is right on that. Dr. Umar is 100% right on that. Remember, he said it. I'm just agreeing with what he said. That's all it is. Don't come at me with no BS. But anyway, let's keep it going.
Well, if Dan, we're running out of time, let me say real quick, the lineage issue is not the same as tribalism, but I do agree with tribalism being an issue. Like you was just in Ethiopia, with having severe ethnic conflict, that is an issue. But I support Pan-Africanism to the extent where we all get the resources were old, the money went old from perspective oppressor. Mrs. Zell, you had your hand up. I know you want to respond to something.
I know she's gonna go, and it's gonna go to her, but she's gonna just talk about something else. I'm just gonna skip it right quick because she's gonna talk about something else that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But let's I'm gonna just fast forward it real quick. All right.
It's a lot of immigrants that's taking over that school also, but it's not.
Well, let me
Okay,
just say,
well,
Mrs.
if
Zell,
y'all
we
want to
gotta
keep
cut
picking
in.
on the immigrants, y'all can keep picking on the immigrants. When y'all going to get at the Latinos, the homosexuals,
Oh,
and
all
the
of them,
women's
absolutely.
movement?
We
They're the
said
ones.
immigrants.
They're the
Period.
ones.
Hold
They're
on.
the ones
Immigrants.
hustling black
Hey,
folks.
yo,
Y'all not
we
going
only
to
got
attack them
5
though.
minutes left.
They
We
get a
got
pass
5 minutes
though.
left.
They
I
get
want
a
to give
pass.
Nobody
Dr.
gets a
Umar the
pass.
last.
They
I
get a
want to
pass.
give Dr. Umar the last word. Pretty much everyone's
No,
getting called out.
no. First of all, let me say this to the listening audience. As you said when we started the interview, we can agree to disagree. So
Right.
we are all passionate, but this is all in love. I want to make that very clear. You understand me? I want to be clear about that. As a Pan-Africanist, we are about unity. We can disagree. We disagree within the Pan-African movement at times. You understand? It is healthy to have this intellectual discourse, as you said at the top. So we are not being adversarial or personal. We're dealing with the issue as we should.
Exactly.
And it's okay that we disagree because it's okay to disagree. People need to hear both sides of an argument and decide where they line up on it. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do have to agree on certain key issues. Now, the one
I just want to pause that real quick. That's shout out to him. I agree to that, and that's my take because I talk about going against white supremacy. I talk about black and brown unity and all this other stuff. But when I go at FBA, is usually their ideology. It's never about some attacking them personally. FBAs attack me personally. That's when I go back at them personally. But the thing is, usually I just attack their ideology because I'm gonna be very, very honest. FBA's ideology is very anti-black, extremely anti-black. So that's the reason why I even attack it. You know what I'm saying? Because FBAs are being part of the arm of white supremacy that's helping this BS go around. But anyway, let's keep it going.
one point we did not get to as it relates to the reparations piece is the list of demands. For me, that deserves more attention than any effort to exclude African immigrants, but do nothing about Latinos, gays, and the white women's movement.
Well, Dr. Umar,
but we got to look at that list. We got to look at that.
I just want to say something real quick about Dr. Umar's talking about Latinos. Immigrant Latinos are getting stuff, and they're not getting that much. Let's be honest about it. Immigrant Latinos are getting a little bit. I'm Latino. I didn't get nothing. Please let me know. Point out something I got. Shit. I'm out here wanting stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's the immigrants who are getting things. The immigrants who locked up in them cages who got free. Those are the ones getting things. So don't make it seem like it's a whole Latino community because just because it benefited the Garcia family, it's not benefiting the Modano family or the Rodriguez family, or it's not benefiting the Ortiz family, it's not benefiting the Guadalupe family. You know what I'm saying? Just because one family got something doesn't mean that all Latinos now are getting. Let's keep it 1,000. Let chill out. Let's keep it going.
Included in our claim. Hold on, I want to get this point across. They're not included in our claim either. That's number one. Two, you mentioned a good point about tribalism. Understand that even when Black immigrants come to this country that was built on the back of Black Americans, I know you don't consider yourself that, they will start organizations only for them. Whereas Black Americans have no issues with that. But you do have to say they continue
We
to
start
delineate
organizations that include white folks.
and we start organizations that
Where's our
include those
racially
Black
exclusive
immigrants.
organizations? Everything we start, we make it
We
multicultural.
start organizations
So let me
that
get this
include
straight.
Black
Let me get
immigrants.
this straight.
He's 100% right. Umar's 100% right. 100% right. Okay, so what if other people start organizations and not include Black Americans? Okay, cool. Y'all don't care about it? That's cool. But Black Americans start all Black organizations and include all white people. White supremacy. I seen FBAs have closed little chat meetings and include hardcore white supremacists. And the white supremacists and the FBAs are celebrating each other, giving each other a high five, talking about Black immigrants. Go back to your dirty monkey country and stuff like that. This is exactly what FBAs be saying just so they could appease white supremacists. I've seen it. I got the screenshots. It's all over Twitter. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. So let's not try to say that FBAs are the golden goose. Now get out of here with that. Everybody have their bad apples. Let's keep it 1,000.
Let me get
hold
this
on real
straight.
quick. These
The
are
African
organizations
immigrant will
that
start an
include
organization
black
for them.
immigrants,
We
which
will
is no-
start an
which no
organization
problem.
and bring white folks in it and
Well,
dilute
we
it
also
and let
bring
everybody
immigrants in
under
it.
the sun
And
come in it.
that's
But it's
the
a problem
problem.
if they do an organization
And that's
for
the
themselves.
problem.
That's
We
hypocrisy.
have
That's a
been-
double standard.
We have been too all-inclusive, but the reparations claim with the Supreme Court ruling can only be based on lineage. And by the way, you said Dr. Cool or her started rap. You know he didn't. And Marcus Garvey
He's the father of
capitalized on
hip
what
hop, my brother.
Cowley
He's the
House
father.
did. He's
Recognized, universally
he's not.
recognized. He's the
James
father.
Brown-
He's of Jamaican ancestry.
James
You have
Brown
an issue
is
with
the
Africans.
father of hip hop.
You have
Okay,
an
that's
issue
what I
with
was gonna
Africans
say.
who are not born
Actually,
in America.
hip-hop started
You
No,
are a
playing
no,
tribalist.
It's so funny when this whole FBA thing started. History started getting rewritten based on some people's dumbass beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So retarded. Everybody knows that Kool Herc, a Jamaican dude, is a starter hip hop. Let's stop. Let's stop talking about James Brown. Stop it. Stop it. You know what I mean? Come on, like talking about no. Kool Herc he's the father. He started it. It's in every documentary, in every museum right now. So stop it with the little pseudo signs. Get out of here with that. But let's keep it going.
He
And
don't.
you are
The
part of
original
the
hype
division
man was on
amongst
the place.
African people.
I actually don't.
You have an
What I have
issue
an
with
issue with-
Africans not
Yeah,
born
what
in
I have an
America.
issue with is
You
what's
are a
happening right
tribalist
now.
and you are part
What
of
I have
the
an issue
division
right now
amongst
is
African
with
people, my brother.
people
I'm
doing
going
what
to
you're
pray
doing
for
right
you
now,
to grow past that.
trying to
I'm going
capitalize
to pray
off
for
of
you to
Black
grow past
Americans'
that.
gains and Black
I'm going to
Americans'
pray
gains.
for you to grow past
But
that, my
Dr.
brother.
Umar,
Don't be a tribalist.
do-
Don't be a
I
divisionist.
do want to
Stop
give you.
scapegoating
Well, guess
African
what?
immigrants when you should be going at them Latinos,
Reparations
homosexuals,
is
and
a
white women.
lineage-based.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree to that, and I'm gonna just end it right there. Yeah, I'm gonna agree to that. Yeah, and I'm glad that Umar called him out on it. He's being very divisive. He's being extreme. He has an issue with black immigrants, but yet this dude is like booed up with a black Nigerian. Like, make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. But he has an issue with that, and it's true. And Umar called him out. He's the only one being divisive about it. He's the only one, and that's what FBA ideology is: division, divisiveness. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So, like, it is what it is. But anyway, I think Umar got this one. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dr. Umar, even though I don't agree with everything he says or he does, but it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.